Howdy partners! I've had a chance to play with the new Proteus 2x zoom lenses, and I'm baffled at how Laowa keeps shrinking these zooms while delivering outstanding performance. But are they addressing the recurring criticism?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Starting with the specs, we got two lenses, the wide one from 26 to 45mm and the long one from 45 to 85mm, each with 100 degrees of zoom throw. They both feature T2.9 as their fastest stop, which you can choose to close down to T22. Why? Oh, and of course, these are parfocal zooms. I can't see much of a point in a varifocal zoom at this day and age. The Proteus zooms are 2x anamorphic super 35mm lenses with an image circle of 31.9mm, meaning you will see lots of their insides if you decide to film in full frame. As I was saying, their size and weight are dumbfounding. Both lenses are shorter than 20 centimeters or 8 inches and weigh just around 1.5 kilograms or 3.4 pounds. I've praised the size and weight of several anamorphic primes that were larger and heavier than this, so. The lenses default to the good old PL mount, but EF mounts are included in the kit. And you can still get additional mounts in RF, E, and L. You also have to pick your focus scales between metric or imperial, as these lenses don't have dual scales. Focus throw is 270 degrees, and the 26 to 35mm can come down to 50 centimeters or 1'7", which is super impressive, while the 45 to 85mm isn't as capable with mins at 90 centimeters or 2'11". And while we're on the topic of focus racking, breathing, or the lack of it, is one of my favorite features in Laowa's anamorphics. See how little it breathes in a rack from mins to infinity. The iris has 11 blades, which means great oval shapes at all stops. And thanks to their optical design, the ovals are actually super consistent across the frame, which is another thing most recent budget anamorphics can't claim. Blazar Mercury. The zooms have 77mm front threads and 80mm outer diameter for clip-on matte boxes or filters. They also have several slots for you to add lens supports, although I am okay letting them hang from the mount since they are so lightweight. These lenses hit the market on March 4th of this year, and they'll sell for $6,000 per lens, or $11,000 for the pair. This is the part where the crowd gets upset and says, boo-hoo, and you call this on a budget? But if you pay attention, the channel name has changed, so good luck with that argument now. But serious chat, these aren't cheap in the grand scheme of things, but still a fraction of what a regular anamorphic zoom costs. In terms of sharpness, they are pretty consistent across the two lenses and the various zoom settings. Them being parfocal was a blessing for filming these tests, as they tend to be quite time-consuming. The image is pretty sharp, wide open, and it only gets cleaner as you stop it down. Honestly, I don't see a point to stopping down unless you're missing an ND filter or your focus puller is struggling with a complicated shot. For distortion, no surprises here. It's Laowa. It's pincushion. On the wide zoom, I can only really notice it at the very wide end at 26mm and right outside the 2.39 to 1 crop area. On the longer zoom, 45 to 85mm, I can see a bit more of the pincussioning, but again, mostly right outside the 2.39 to 1 window. Again, this type of pincushion doesn't bother me as it is much too simple to correct in post. In the merry land of flares is where I think the Proteus zooms are most vulnerable to criticism. These streaks don't feel very special to me. They are super centered around the light source itself, and we'll have the option to choose between silver, blue, and amber flares, indicated by the accent ring on the lenses. But they do feel a lot like streaked filter flares to me. I do love the other parts of the flares with the multiple different elements and vertical streaks though. The streaks look a little bit more interesting as you stop down the lenses, but still, it's a stretch. We also get some greenish secondaries that I don't super love. So what's the verdict on these zooms? Well, first off, 26mm with 2x anamorphic, even on Super 35, is super wide, with an equivalent horizontal field of view of 19.5mm. 85mm isn't super tight, but you can always push in closer with the help of diopters. Minimum focus is great on the wide zoom, and I wish we could get a little bit closer on the 45 to 85 zoom as well, since 90cm can feel far. It is awesome to have just over 3 times optical zoom across the two lenses, but I wish these two were combined in a single lens. Yes, I know it's pricey, and to keep the constant T2.9 maximum aperture, the combined lens would likely be a lot bigger. Yes, I know that. I would also be happy if we had slightly longer reach than 85mm, getting into triple digits. It would certainly help in filming across the street, but still feeling close to the action, for example. And I'm thinking this for documentaries. The last of my criticism is about the flares, which feel artificial to me. I get that this has to do with the optical design that enables the lenses to be this tiny and light, and technically we are getting a streak flare, but it doesn't feel awesome. There's a lot to like though, such as the great performance when wide open, the near zero focus breathing, controlled distortion, and the fantastic size and weight. On top of that, the consistent ovals across the frame for out-of-focus highlights outpace most, if not all, of its competitors in a similar price range. For docu-style filmmaking and solo projects with fast-moving settings, these are a great fit. If the Nanomorphs enabled anamorphic documentary and folks complained that they're only 1.5 times, then the Proteus settled the argument, delivering clean performance with 2 times squeeze. I don't have the same high praise I had for Laowa's large format nanomorphs, but we're certainly on the way to a cleaner anamorphic look, which can encourage the use of our beloved format to tell other types of stories. Stories that benefit from select traits of squeezy glass. What is your view on these lenses, and what kind of expectations do you have for upcoming anamorphic zooms? Do we just want aberrations and chaos as the trademark of the look? I particularly like the variety. I'd love to hear your input in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something here today. See you on the next one. Out.